The biggest thing is the morning.
How many properties do you manage, if you can tell us a little bit about the business?
Yeah, we have a little over 200 that we manage,
Wow.
200 units. Our renewal process is almost completely automated now. Residents text in. We have AI generated responses, so now that we don't have to actually go in and type a response every time. A lot of the time I hear friends and, people say like, oh, I left my job, because of the work environment or because of my boss or my manager. You don't usually hear, I left my job because I didn't like the work. But I mean, when you find someone good, I will do anything, absolutely anything to keep them happy.
Welcome to the 80/20 Recruit podcast, the show that's all about mastering remote talent acquisition and retention. Whether you're hiring your first remote worker or scaling your team, we've got you covered. I'm Frank, your host. Let's get started. Welcome to the 80/20 Recruit podcast, hiring, building, retaining top talent. This show is dedicated to helping business leaders, recruiters, and HR professionals master the art of hiring and managing real estate and investing companies. I'm your host, Francisco Israel, and you can find me anywhere on LinkedIn. Our podcast is proudly sponsored by 80/20 Recruit, where we help real estate companies like investors, flippers, and wholesalers recruit high-performing Latin American candidates 100% guaranteed without markup fees or recruiting fees. Today's guest is Keivan Rahimy, who leads Renaissance Property Management, a leading property management company serving the Indianapolis area. They specialize in providing comprehensive and professional management services for a variety of properties, including single-family homes, multifamily units, and apartment complexes. Keivan, welcome to the 80/20 Recruit podcast.
Hey, Francisco. Thanks for having me. Happy to be here. And great intro.
Cool. So, by the way, you are our first property manager. Most of the people that we have here have been wholesalers, flippers, maybe a couple of guys that do software, but let's dive into the property management part, which I'm very interested. So the first question that I ask anyone that comes here to the podcast is, tell us a little bit about what you think is a big trend regarding recruiting and retaining talent in our industry in particular, meaning real estate.
Yeah, for sure. I think real estate is a umbrella term. I am specifically in property management. So for me, in my day to day, I am looking for, leasing office agents, maintenance technicians, and then you have your subcontractors on the side. They're not W-2, but it's job by job. And I think the glue for any good property management company will be maintenance. It's not so much acquisition of maintenance technicians, but it's the retention. So with Renaissance Property Management, we're a family company. My parents started it about 25 years ago. My dad's from Iran. He went over to Japan when he was about like 20-ish years old. Grew up, with not much, and he went to Japan to work, and he would send money back. He'd work 20-hour days and did construction, did all types of jobs, and would just send money back home. And my mom's from here in Indiana, in Kokomo. She was over there, just teaching English, traveling, and they met at a bus station or a train station, actually. Got married, came back to the States, and they bought one home on the west side of Indianapolis. I would say probably early 2000s. They fixed it up by themselves, just kept buying, and holding, and then renting out. And that's kind of been the cornerstone of our company. We're not a wholesaling company or a flipping company. We buy, we rehab, and then we sustain. So for that, the most important thing for tenant retention, making sure that, our occupancy levels are high, it has to do with the leasing office, but mainly it's the maintenance for us. So to find a good maintenance technician, the landscape's changed a little bit here. As you know, Francisco, the cost has gone up with everything. I mean, a carton of eggs is like 200% up. So with that, you have three big ticket items with maintenance and property management. It's HVAC, so like the heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. So with the rising cost, those three items, you got to find maintenance technicians that know how to diagnose a problem with a furnace or an air conditioner, know a little bit of plumbing. Because if not, you're gonna have to call, professional contractors, and the prices are gonna be very high. So finding people, that's one side of it. But I think to answer your question, the most important part would be retention. So how can we have an environment where one, they feel comfortable financially, two, they feel like they have a purpose, there's not an invisible ceiling on their career or their job. So we try to implement different things to try to promote a good work environment for them. And in the leasing office, we we have all types of bonuses for retention. We have different programs that we do to try to keep it a little competitive and try to keep good people in place.
I want to go deeper into the retention part, but not just yet. I want to get a little bit of more context so that whoever is listening gets it well. So, can you tell me a little bit about? So, I have two questions regarding the context. Is how many people do you manage, and that they manage some properties, and that they do? What was the exact position that you mentioned?
Maintenance and then leasing office. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Those two would be a little bit different, no? So a leasing agent would be a different guy, right? The one that's in the position or not. And then you have maintenance. So I have two questions. Can you tell us a little bit about how your team is composed, and then maybe go a little bit deeper into what the positions are like? Because I really want to understand. Because as you mentioned, they're getting more and more expensive, but are those professional getting more and more expensive? Can they be remote? That's pretty much where I'm going.
Yeah, for sure. So the maintenance position, we have two full-time maintenance techs right now, and then I've got within this type of job, you have to have a it's kind of remote. You have to have like in your back pocket a few different people you can call. So I mean, there's a HVAC guy. I have a plumber. I would call them almost employees, but I pay them by job. They're not W-2 salary. So the maintenance in-house on payroll, they're dealing everything with like work orders coming in, stoves, fridges, garbage disposal, taking care of the properties, like from the outside visually. And then in my back pocket, I've got the when there's something that the maintenance can't do, I then call. It's almost like a remote job, I would say, within our industry. And then the leasing office side, we have currently two people in the leasing office, and they deal with everything with phone calls, getting units marketed on websites, on Zillow, on our website, everything from signing leases to renewals, communication with tenants, getting the bills paid, pretty much anything that has to do with office work, they're taking care of.
Okay, so they are almost remote, meaning that they are in the States, right? But but they could be remote, maybe next time. And is that somehow an advantage for you that they could be remote?
Yeah, I think the leasing office side, there's certain parts of it that could be remote. Like for example, there's some third party or third not third party, but there's other property management companies that they have remote employees. I do know that they handle either accounting or they take phone calls. We don't do that. We're more hands on. We're more localized here in Indianapolis. So I would say for a remote, if we ever expand outside of Indianapolis, that would become a possibility and a potential opening for a job.
Got it. So before we go into retaining, I think one big one that is maybe the way I see it is a little bit overlooked is management. So What are top three best practices that you have for the management of these professionals, especially in real estate?
especially in real estate. So I'm 27. So a lot of people in this industry are a little bit older. So just kind of my management style is learning how to communicate and talk to different people who are usually much older. Gaining that respect and kind of leading with action right now. Just because age is a disadvantage for me right now in my career. But day to day, I would say the biggest thing is the morning. It's 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. We open at 9 to 10 a.m. It's making sure we have the day planned out. I mean, that's crucial because otherwise, before you know it, we get so busy with different things coming in that it's 3 o'clock and the day's over. So morning organization's a big thing. And then I would say,
You guys meet in person, the five-ish of you?
yeah, we do. We meet at one local property, and then from there, everyone kind of goes out on the day, and they have their own responsibilities.
How many properties do you manage, if you can tell us a little bit about the business?
Yeah, we have a little over 200 that we manage,
Wow.
200 units. It's composed of five apartment complexes, and then there's duplexes, houses spread out here and there. So we meet at one of the apartment complexes. That's where we have all of our stuff, and then we kind of go out from there. And kind of going on a different tangent from the hiring and onboarding and retention, but right now I believe in the real estate market. Back in 2020, anybody could manage a property, and their P&L, their profit and loss statement would look great. The back page was easy to maintain. Right now, though, with the interest rates going up, with high prices, high cost for labor, high cost for materials, operating within this space, within this industry, you got to have a conscious effort to, make good choices throughout the year on your back page. Otherwise, I see it firsthand, and at least in Indianapolis, properties turn upside down, and that could be a number of factors. But yeah, a big thing right now is managing the back page, day to day operations, and then quarter to quarter, year to year.
Hey there! A quick break to remind you that 8020 Recruit podcast is brought to you by 8020 Recruit, helping you hire pre-vetted, top-performing remote talent from Latin America. Save hours of recruiting and find the perfect fit for your team. Visit 8020recruit.com to learn more. With 200 properties that you manage, plus four people, maybe a few more that are managing the properties, in the last couple years with AI, is there something that's been highly improved slash automated with technology?
Yeah, I would say our renewal process is almost completely automated now. I mean, we were before AI and some like we use Appfolio. It's one of the big systems for property management. So before our renewals and leases for residents, they were all paper. I mean, our leases are about 25 pages long, and we'd sign and do everything with paper. But now everything's on the computer, automated, and it's the streamline's a little bit quicker and it's more efficient that way. And then we have some different text. So when residents text in, whatever it may be, a work order, whatever issue, we have AI generated responses. So now that we don't have to actually go in and type a response every time. So when you're dealing with so many units, it actually saves a lot of time.
I said that we were going to dive deeper a little bit into retaining. Can you tell us a few best practices that you've implemented with your team? Especially maybe tell us how long has your team been with you guys as a company, and what are good best practices in that sense?
People want to make a difference, and you got to treat people like they're your family. So we have several, core values that we stick with, and all those values I grew up, for 27 years of my life. I've been instilled with those values. So we're big on respect, and we're big on doing what you say you're going to do. So our customers are our residents. So we respect them, and we do what we're going to say we're going to do. And I think that translates also to retention, because myself, all my employees, even some of the contractors, I know their kids. I know what their kids are doing. I know about their spouses. I know about their personal life. So, because I've asked, I take an interest in that. So it's just creating that family culture, which we're able to do because we're a smaller company. Some of the larger corporate companies, it's a little bit tougher to do that. But I think it's the workplace environment for retention. A lot of the time, I hear friends and people say like, "Oh, I left my job, because of the work environment or because of my boss or my manager." You don't usually say, or you don't usually hear, "I left my job because I didn't like the work," or you know maybe I wasn't paid enough. But usually, it's the work environment, I feel like. So that's a big priority for me.
So you've told us some good practices and trends that you see. Now it's a short time that I want to ask you to go a little bit human and vulnerable. Meaning, I want to ask you, what is the greatest challenge regarding hiring and retaining that you see in the upcoming days regarding scaling your team?
I think a big challenge is going to be, I mean, it's two things. One, just taking the chance on people, because you really, with some of these jobs, you really don't know the experience that somebody has until they start doing it. So that's always been a challenge. That follows through with retention, because there's several times we have someone come on, and with maintenance and that type of job, it's not working on a computer. You either know it or you don't. So we cycle through a lot, but when we find someone good, they usually stay. So a big challenge is just that cycle period when we lose somebody really good for whatever reason, and then we go through 3 months to a year of just cycling through applicants, giving them a shot.
Really?
Yeah, it's a high turnover. I mean, when you find someone good, I will do anything, absolutely anything to keep them happy. It's that important of a position within property management.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. All right. So we're getting to the end of the show, and I just want to hand you over the mic. So it's been yours all the time, but I want to just give you the freedom of having a minute to just give your message to the world, to your maybe customers that could be listening here. Just do a call to action to whoever wants to reach out to you.
Yeah, I mean, if you are interested in real estate, I have a huge passion for this. I wouldn't trade what I do for the world. I have a lot of knowledge in it. And if you have any interest in real estate investing or property management, reach out. You can find me on Instagram, LinkedIn. I'm active on LinkedIn. I try to post some more educational content on there. Yeah, if you have any interest at all, I'm happy to do a call, a lunch if you're in Indianapolis, and come check out the properties. But yeah, don't hesitate to reach out.
All right. So I think that's a wrap for today's episode. So huge thanks to Keivan. As you heard, you can find him anywhere on LinkedIn and on Instagram. And of course, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe and leave a review. And if you're a real estate leader and you want to get featured in the podcast, just apply to be a guest at 8020recruit.com/podcast. And of course, consider 8020 Recruit as your go-to partner for all things recruiting in your industry. Until next time, and keep building strong teams and hiring smarter. Thank you. Thanks for listening to the 8020 Recruit podcast. If you found today's episode valuable, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your network. Want more tips? Follow us on LinkedIn and visit our website 8020recruit.com for exclusive resources. See you next time.